Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind. And first of all, welcome to the session. So, there is one very important announcement which you all have been waiting for quite some time now. You all have been waiting for this one thing, that when is the UPSC notification is going to be released, and it seems it has been released today. Okay. I have not gone into the details of it yet, but what seems to be there, that this year it will be somewhat different. The approach of filling the forms will be somewhat different. The date of application is perhaps going to start from today, and it will be there till 24th of this month, till 24th of Feb. So generally UPSC is giving this 20 days of time for filling up the forms. Okay. So like for this form, let me go through the details once, and then by the end of the session, I think by 7 p.m. or 7:30, we are going to have a session. Maybe today itself, it may be slightly delayed, but today we will try to have a session on it. By the end of the day today, we will have a discussion about this, that what are the changed format, what are the changed format of this application. Whatever had changed, we are going to see that. So this is one announcement for all of you. UPSC form for 2026 has been released. Okay. So we will see that the details of it in later course of time. So good evening, everyone. So I think you all have been waiting for this time. So officially now it has been released by UPSC. Okay. Good evening. So how is your preparation going on? Now I can ask this once again. How is your preparation going on? How is your preparation going on? Good evening. Good evening. 2 hours of classes. See, if you are having even 1 hour of classes, nahi, nahi, nahi. There is not any change in the syllabus as such. Okay. There is no such change in the syllabus as such. There is just a change in the application, perhaps, the application process, perhaps. So once we have seen the details of it, okay, once we have seen the details of it, then we are going to discuss in detail about this one examination form. So let's start the topics which we are going to discuss today. First is India and US deal. This is the first topic which we will discuss about. Then we will talk about the turtle trails and olive Ridley turtles, waste management and caste bias, budget and space tech, and some other important updates also. Okay. So these are the topics which we are going to discuss in today's session. But before we go into that, before we go into these discussions, let us first start with this one part. Let us first start with some questions. कुछ क्वेश्चन से स्टार्ट करते हैं. The question is related to finance commission. In the last two sessions we have discussed about the finance commission recommendation. So let's solve some question on the basis of this. Population criteria has been given higher weightage in the 16th finance commission as compared to 15th finance commission. Tax and fiscal effort has been given 10% weightage in 16th finance commission. Area criteria has been given higher weightage in 16th Finance Commission as compared to 15th Finance Commission. So can you tell me how many of them are correct? How many of them are correct? How many of them are correct? Second is correct. Okay. A option. A option. Now look at this. Population criteria has been given higher weightage in 16th Finance Commission. You may be aware that it has been given the weightage of 17.5%. The higher weightage has been provided. Tax and fiscal effort, that has been completely removed, and even the area criteria has been given lower weightage. The area criteria has also been given lower weightage. The second part, tax and fiscal effort, it has been completely removed. So area criteria, it was earlier 15%, now 10%. Tax and fiscal effort, earlier 2.5%, now 0%. Contribution to GDP is the new part which has been given 10%. So correct answer will be option number A. Israel shares its border with Jordan and Syria. Syria and Lebanon shares border with Mediterranean Sea. So here we have the second question with respect to the location. With respect to the location. What by population there? Population was a criteria. The population criteria is there that if a state is having more population, then generally they are given generally they are getting more revenues from the government. They are getting more from the central government. Earlier the weightage was 15%. Now the weightage is 17.5%. To A option, B option, B option. Yeah, question tough है क्या? Israel shares its border with Jordan and Syria, correct. Syria and Lebanon shares border with Mediterranean. Both are correct. The answer is C option. Both one and correct. Population नहीं, demographic performance is different. Demographic performance is different. Population criteria is different. Demographic part is where a state has been able to control the population. Population simply refers to how much population they are having. So both criteria are used. Population also, demography also. Nahin, KGH 9040. See, there is no such part of any such files in India-US trade deal. Okay, there is no such role. Now coming to the third part, in the recent times, the fiscal deficit of union government has been lower than 3% of GDP. The decrease in primary deficit indicates that government is making lesser interest payment. ये बताओ, कोई भी फाइल्स हो, कुछ भी हो, is there any such question which might be possible in the exam from that area? तो हम लोग का ये जो फोरम है, this is only for the academic discussion. For all other discussion, we can be having some other platforms जहां पे हम लोग डिस्कस करेंगे कि what should be the ideal nature, what goes on in the politics. At this platform, we discuss exam related thing, no politics. B option. If you look at this, in the recent times, the fiscal deficit of union government has been lower than 3% of GDP. This one is incorrect. This part is incorrect. But the second portion which is there, it says that the decrease in primary deficit indicates that government is making lesser interest payment. The decrease in primary deficit indicates that government is making lesser interest payment. What is primary deficit? Primary deficit simply means that what has been borrowed by the government for meeting the expenditure. What has been borrowed by the government for meeting the new expenditure. So any such decrease or increase in primary deficit is not anything related to. There is no such relation. There is no such relation with the interest payment. So primary deficit is like devoid of anything with respect to interest payment. So there is no relation of primary deficit with respect to interest payment. In fact, when we remove the interest payment, from the fiscal deficit, then we get the primary deficit. So primary deficit has no such relation here. So that's why the second option is incorrect. The correct answer will be option number D, neither one nor two. Okay. So here the correct answer is option number D, neither one nor two. Now, coming to this second part, again, not understand second option. See, let's say the total deficit, the fiscal deficit, let's say the fiscal deficit is 3 lakh crore. Now, say 1 lakh crore, this is for interest payment. Now, if you have to get the primary deficit, you remove 3 minus 1, 2. So, this 2 is the primary deficit. Now, if the primary deficit is less, if the primary deficit is less, it means government is spending lesser. It has nothing to do with the interest payment. It has nothing to do with the interest payment. So there is no component of interest payment in the primary deficit. If primary deficit is decreasing, it simply means government is borrowing lesser amount of money for spending on new programs. This 2 lakh is basically spending on new programs. This is the spending on new programs. It may be capital, it may be revenue, it can be anything. So this has no relation with interest payment. If we are having, let's say, 1.5 lakh primary deficit, if we are having 1.5 lakh primary deficit, it simply means that government is spending less on new programs, new initiatives. So that's why the second one is incorrect. Now coming to today's topic, let's discuss about today's topic. The first part which is here is our India and US deal. India and US deal. Now, what is the official declaration? Okay, what it is being said that the official details will be released soon. The official details are going to be released soon. So till now, there has been no such official detail which has been released as of now. Okay. What has been said that this 18% part, last day we were talking about the 18% part, that from 25% it has been reduced up to 18%. There is this extra 25%. So what has been said that this extra 25%, this will be removed. So this 18% will become the effective tariff. Now this one thing has been said that this 25%, extra 25% will also be removed. The effective tariff will be 18%. That is one part which has been said. Okay. Now, any other details like will we purchase the oil from Russia or not? What will happen to the $500 billion investment? Okay. These things have not been notified by the government as of now. So what we are going to see that what are the major items of export from India and what are the major item of import from US. Okay. So this is the major export from India to US. Electric machinery and equipment, gems and jewelry, pharmaceutical, petroleum products, textile, engineering goods and others. So they are the major item of export from India to US. Okay. So they are the major items of export from India to US. You might be seeing this one change that now we have been focusing on electrical machinery. We have been focusing on this electrical machinery and equipment. There is focus, of course, on gems and jewelry, pharmaceutical, petroleum products. So these are the topmost items of export to the United States. If we talk about the items of import from US to India, what are those major items of import? So we are having crude oil, coal, coke and briquettes. Then we are having some precious metals like large amount of gold and rough diamonds. We are also like planning for this. This is not like some of the equipments. They are some of the equipments which we are trying to borrow. This is something which we want to borrow. Aircraft, spacecraft and related parts. Organic chemicals and specialized fertilizers. Almonds and other agricultural goods and experiment. Okay. So these are the major items of import from US to India. Okay. Now there is this one part that what is our trade like petroleum product export करते हैं. You should be aware about this that India is the major exporter of petroleum products. It seems quite opposite, but it is true. Okay, we are the major supplier of petroleum product. There is one thing, we import the crude oil, but we export the petroleum products. We are selling it to European Union also. We are also selling it to US and other countries. Okay, so we are purchasing the crude oil, we refine it and we sell it to the rest of the world. Okay. Briquette generally means the compressed charcoal. See, what we are doing, see, this is a very interesting part. For crude oil, gems and jewelries and diamond, what we do, we extract these materials, we purchase these materials from outside. Like we are taking rough diamonds from outside and then we make jewelries from there. We are making jewelries from there, we are making important items from there and then we are selling it. We are getting crude oil from Russia and other parts of the world. We are refining it and then we are selling it to the other parts of the world. So many of these items, like even the gold, the bullions, the diamond, we are taking it from outside, we are making jewelries or precious things and then we are selling it. In the same manner, we are also purchasing the crude oil from outside and then we are refining it at home, then we are selling it outside. So we are one of the largest importer also and exporter also. We are one of the largest importer of crude oil and we are one of the largest exporter of petroleum product. In fact, in Asia, in many years, we have been the largest exporter of petroleum products. In some of the years in past, we have been exporting more petroleum products than any other country in Asia. So India is one of the major petroleum product exporters of the world. Okay, so that is a contrasting thing. Now see, import to India, this is having a value of 27081. Like this is in this one figure is in billions of dollars. Okay, sorry, this is about 27,081. That is the import to India. Then we have this 51 billion, that is the export. Okay, so if you find that we are having a trade surplus, this is for 2020. You may see that this year we have got 42 billion import, 95 billion export. 95 here, 95 is 95 billion, and here it is 42 billion. So you will find that near about 42 billion has been imported in India, 95 has been exported out of India. The total business has been something around $131 billion. So just look at this one thing. Our trade surplus has been continuously increasing. Our trade surplus with US has been continuously increasing. Our export has also been increasing. At the same time, import is also there, but in recent years, it has somewhat fluctuated. 2022, we have a $46 billion import from US, but then it declined to 40, 41, 42. So what we see that the export is generally on the higher side, the import is generally on the lower side. Now they are demanding this one thing, that India should be importing goods worth minimum $100 billion from US. So there is a demand that India should be importing goods worth $100 billion from US. So these figures which you see, these figures are as per the US government. US गवर्नमेंट की ऑफिशियल वेबसाइट के हिसाब से ये सारे फिगर्स हैं कि व्हाट इज द इंपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट वैल्यू ऑफ इंडिया. तो दे आर प्रिपेयरिंग अ कैलेंडर वाइज, वो कैलेंडर वाइज प्रिपेयर करते हैं. तो दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव द रिजल्ट ऑफ 2025. So in 2025 you can see that we have got a export of $95 billion, $95 billion and an import of $42 billion. Overall, $53 billion is our trade surplus with US. ऐसा ट्रेड सिनेरियो चाइना के साथ कब होगा? Like we are just having the reverse of it with China. In case of China, we are just having the reverse of it. Okay. So this is one part, India and US trade relations. You can see that what is our trade with respect to US in the recent times. So see this one part. Last day we have seen what are the major things which have been announced by the US administration. Today we have seen this one part, that what is the status of trade between India and US. If there is an official announcement, which was not there till the end of the day today, if there is an official announcement from India side that what are the deals, what are the part of the deals, then in upcoming classes we are going to cover that part also. तो आने वाले सेशंस में हम लोग उसको भी कवर कर लेंगे. तो वी आर डूइंग इट इन अ प्रॉपर सीक्वेंस विथ ऑल द रिलेटेड इंफॉर्मेशन. तो जो भी सीक्वेंस है, जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, वी आर कीपिंग इट ऑथेंटिक. वी आर नॉट जस्ट गोइंग ऑन स्पेकुलेशन बट द एक्चुअल फैक्ट्स. नाउ कमिंग टू द सेकेंड पार्ट, द ओलिव रिडले टर्टल्स. Though we have discussed it about olive ridley turtles on 5th of January 2026 also. Okay, you might be aware about this. 5 जनवरी को भी हम लोगों ने इसके बारे में डिस्कस किया था, on 5th January 2026. So tell me, what do you know about olive ridley turtles? We have discussed about this olive ridley turtles on 5th of January 2026 also. So tell me about this. What do you know about this olive ridley turtles? What do you know about the olive ridley turtles? Famous for nesting. It is famous for nesting, that's true. Odisha coast, okay. What else? Generally found in eastern coast of India, mass nesting. It is called as aribada. They lay eggs on the bank of Odisha coast, okay. Good. Gahir Matha sanctuary is there in Odisha, fine. Gahir Matha sanctuary, yes. Gahir Matha beach, Gahir Matha sanctuary is there. Nesting site, Rushikulya Kendrapara, Devi River. At the mouth of the Devi River, Rushikulya River, near this Bay of Bengal area, we are having the mass nesting sites of life span is about 50 years. Correct. Chalo. So you all know about this? Yes. So let's see about this one by one. First, it is generally there in warm tropical waters of Pacific, India and Atlantic Ocean. This is one such smallest marine turtle which is found almost all across the world in all these oceans. Endangered? Nahi, it is not endangered. Now, if we talk about this, the smallest and most abundant of all sea turtles. See this one part, Chandraesh. It is the most abundant turtle in India. In one, not just India, across the world, it is the most abundant. They have a population of a few lakh newborn. They give population of like a few lakh newborn turtles in just 1 week. Per year, there is growth of more than crores, 1 or 1.5 crore new turtles. So they are their number is very much high. Okay. So what we see that lifespan is around 50 years. It is omnivorous. This is something which is omnivorous. It is just like humans. How it was declared shy in nature? See, basically it cannot lay eggs if there is too much light. अगर लाइट ज्यादा हो तो they are not able to lay eggs. So in a few years back, I guess 2016, 17, 18, there were certain beaches in Odisha. They were having street lights. So that street light was impacting the mass nesting pattern of the olive-rillet turtles. So those lamps were removed. Okay. So this is one part. They are not endangered. If we talk about this, they are having this Aribada. This is the area, Rushikulya River, Mahanadi River, Paradip River. This is the part where we see a mass nesting activity of these here. We have Odisha, the largest nesting site in the world. Gahir Matha Beach, Bhitarkanika National Park, very prominent area. Rushikulya River mouth, Devi River mouth. And in fact, you will find that Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, in all these regions also, you can see them. Okay. And one single female is giving like 100 to 150 eggs in one season. In one single season, they are giving rise to 100 to 150 new olive-rillet turtles. So they are having a mass nesting activity. They are not endangered as such. If you look at this, they are listed as vulnerable. In IUCN, they are listed as vulnerable. Okay. If you look at this, Wildlife Protection Act, they have Schedule 1. In sites also, they are listed in Appendix 1. So its international trade is prohibited. So international trade of this organism is also prohibited. There is an Operation Olivia also, which is being run by the Indian Coast Guard to protect the olive-rillet turtles. And we also have turtle excluder devices. Okay, so they have been created. These are basically nets with escape openings to reduce accidental capture. Okay, why then vulnerable? Yes, very good question. That why they have been declared as vulnerable. They have been declared as vulnerable because their habitats are seen to be threatened. इनके जो habitats हैं वो threaten हो रहे हैं. Their habitats are getting threatened. There is encroachment. There is encroachment in the coastal areas. There is encroachment in the nesting site of these organisms. That's why, in order to generate more awareness, in order to ensure that their nesting site is not impacted, they were declared as vulnerable. Okay. So that is one part. नहीं, GPT का छोड़ो ना, GPT को क्या मालूम? GPT को कुछ नहीं मालूम. ठीक है? So don't go by the GPT for this thing. GPT as basing their answer on a few things. ठीक है? तो GPT पे भरोसा नहीं है. So this is one part. What is there in olive-rillet turtles? If you look at this one thing, this is the area where you will find the olive-rillet turtles. This location of South America, certain portions of Africa. Then you will find India. Then you will find portions of Southeast Asia, near about Australia. These are the locations where you will find the presence of olive-rillet turtles. The largest nesting site is of course where it is there in Odisha. Okay. So that is one part. What is about the olive-rillet turtles, the vulnerable species on the IUCN Red List. Okay. Now coming to the third part. Now coming to this third part about this waste management related information. Okay. There is this one information with respect to waste management. Now, just see it here. There is this one article which says that like there are 1.52 lakh waste pickers. Means they are collecting the waste. you will see this one thing, that out of them, what we see that 84.5%, they are either scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, or other backward classes. They are from this scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. You will also see this one thing, around 48.7%, they are women, and near about 51.3%, they are men. There is 0.007% those who are transgender. So this is one thing, like this is one part, that if we look at the West speakers, those who are collecting the West from different areas, you will see that in that section we have the maximum people from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, or other backward classes. It shows a little bit caste bias. What we see that in majority of other jobs, हम लोगों ने लास्ट वीक में इसको लेके एक डिस्कशन भी किया था, in majority of other jobs, what we have seen that there is higher prevalence of people from the general caste or general category. There is higher prevalence or higher participation of people from general category. The participation of the other backward communities are on the lower side. There you will see that a 50% participation in many of these things are coming from the general category. But when we see that there is a work of West pickers, in that we see that there is this 84.5% people who are from the other backward classes, scheduled caste or scheduled tribes. So this shows the caste bias in work also. Now there is one interesting part, at least there is one thing. If you look at this one thing, there is a narrow gap, there is a very narrow gap in men and women in this case of like West pickers. So here you can see that somewhat gender equality is there. Somewhat gender equality is there in this case. So means this work has got somewhat gender equality. Now if we talk about this, there is one challenging part. There has been death of 859 people. Death of this around 859 people due to sewer cleaning. Since 2014. In the last 10 years, we have seen that there has been death of near about 859 people as per the official data. Okay, as per the official data, that there has been death of 859 people due to sewer cleaning since 2014. Okay. Yes, that's true that in Delhi and not Mumbai, in case of Delhi and Goa, in case of Delhi as well as Goa, we see that the majority of workers are from general communities. Okay. So in case of Delhi and Goa, we see that majority of workers are from general community. So that is one information with respect to this. Okay. Notification आ गया UPSC का, कब आया? When it was announced, मुझे तो पता ही नहीं चला. We have discussed it in the beginning of the class itself that UPSC notification has been released. Okay. UPSC notification has been released. We have discussed that in the beginning of the class itself. And today, by the end of the day, we will be also having a session about the new things in the application form. कि application form में क्या क्या नई चीजें आई हैं, उसको लेके हम लोग बात भी करेंगे in evening session today. It will be announced कि कितने बजे session होगा, but we will try to have a session today. Okay. So that's one from my side. Okay. Now see, there is a scheme here. There is a scheme here that is called as Namaste scheme. It stands for National Action for mechanized sanitation ecosystem. So Namaste scheme is also here. Yes. So here you will find that we have this Ministry of Social Justice and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So they have come together with this one thing. Okay. How we will come to that part. To be implemented in all 4800 plus urban local bodies of India. And what is the aim here? The aim here is to ensure the safety and dignity of the sanitation or workers by preventing manual hazardous cleaning and promoting safe mechanized practices through training and certified workers. Okay. So this is one part. We are also having a Namaste scheme which is promoting, which is trying to ensure the safety and dignity of the sanitation worker. It is promoting safety, it is promoting training, it is also providing for certification. It also talks about providing them the safety gears. So this Namaste scheme is there. Which ministry is there? The Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So they have come with this Namaste scheme. Here you will find that the target is to have zero fatalities in sanitation worker. It also says that there should be no direct contact with human fecal matter and it has to be done by the skilled workers. So that is the target. That is the target under this Namaste scheme. What you have to keep in mind from the examination purpose, that which ministry is responsible plus what is the main target. What is the main target with respect to the Namaste scheme. So here from this topic, there are two parts. Here from this topic, you have got two ideas. First, from the prelims point of view, you have to get the information about the Namaste scheme. Second, how are you going to utilize this? How are you going to utilize this information? If we have to show the caste bias in a question related to society, अगर मान लो आपको सोसाइटी का कुछ क्वेश्चन आया वेयर यू हैव टू शो द एग्जिस्टिंग कास्ट बायस इन आवर कंट्री, so there you can put this data that across India the majority of sanitation workers or the majority of West speakers are coming from scheduled caste, scheduled tribes and other backward classes, whereas in officer levels the majority of people or almost 50% of the people are from general community. Okay, so this is one thing which you can put in your society part. अगर आपका sociology optional है तो you can use it there also. So this data, this information has a importance for the mains also and for the prelims also. Prelims में you have to see this Namaste scheme and for the mains you have to see this data. I hope clear. कोई doubt? We will have a session on how to fill this form. There has been an announcement that there will be a capture. There will be a live capture of the photo. What I have seen in the notification that there is going to be a live capture of the photo this time. Earlier, there was a provision that you have to just upload the photo. But now in civil services exam, there is this provision that you might have to go for the live capture of the photo using the device. So now only you will have to fill the form. You cannot get it filled by someone else. Ye chalo tum hi bhar dena mera bhi form. So you have to do it in person now. Okay. Now coming to this one part, space sector in budget. Okay. Space sector in budget. So let's see this one part. What is the portion related to this space sector in budget? Let's try to see this. Okay. See, first of all, the national space budget has increased by 182% in the last one decade. If you look at this, the space budget of India has increased by more than 180% in the last one decade. So that is one of the part which you can see here. The total expenditure means income plus allocation, it will go around 15,000 crore. The allocation is of around 13,500 crore plus the new Space India Limited will also be earning a near about 1,500 crore rupees. So the total budget might be going up to 15,000 crore rupees for the space sector. Now, if you look at this, India is having 3% of the global space market, and the government has resolved to reach 10% by 2030. So we are having an aim that by 2030, we are going to have a control over 10% of the space market. We will have a hold over 10% of the global space market. Right now, it is just 3%. Now, in this scenario, what we have to see, like, there is a demand. There is a very unique thing here, very interesting thing here. The private sector is not so much satisfied with the space related budget. The private sector in India is not very much satisfied with the space related budget. So what are the challenges? First part is the private sector. What they expected tax reform. They expected tax reform. Now, why this tax reform? See, when they are developing something, when they are manufacturing certain component, they are generally paying 18% GST on it. But their final product which they are making, like suppose they are developing launch vehicle or they are developing any such space equipment, the final equipment is having 0 GST. The final equipment has 0 GST. And the initial product is having 18%. So what is the challenge for them? They will not be getting the refund. The final product is having 0 GST. The initial product is having 18% GST. So they are not getting the GST refund. That is one of the challenge. In other countries, in other part, what we see that in other nations, it is roughly coming to 10 to 12%. But in case of India, it is coming up to 18%. So that is one of the challenge. Okay. That they are giving up to 18% on component, and they are getting no return or no refund. That is one of the challenge. So they are not getting any such refund. That is one of their major challenge, that they are just giving the money. They are just giving this money for like a component part, and they are not getting any return from there. That is one of the major challenge which they are facing. Now there is a second part here. They are also saying that there is second component here. When we are talking about the space sector in India, when we are talking about this space sector in India, they are saying that it should be declared as a critical industry. Declaration as critical industry. That the space sector should be declared as critical industry, but this has not been done. They wanted this one thing. The private sector has put a demand that the space sector should be declared as critical industry, but this has not been done. So why there was a demand? Why there was a demand of declaration as critical industry? It was simple thing. They want EG credit. They want EG credit, cheap credit. If it is declared as a critical industry, so they can get EG credit or cheap credit. That was the third part. There was also a demand, the third demand, PLI scheme. PLI scheme. This is also something not done, not provided. So they wanted tax reform. They wanted PLI scheme. They also wanted that there should be a declaration of this sector as a critical industry. And the fourth demand was tax holiday. Tax holiday. Okay. The fourth demand was also about the tax holiday. But this was also not provided. So overall, the private sector in India is not so much happy with the space budget. In fact, many people have said this thing. Okay, you are saying you are promoting private sector, but your focus remains on this one part, your focus remains on this one part, that we have to just push ISRO and ISRO. And in fact, they have been saying this, that ISRO doesn't want the entry of private players. They have said that ISRO does not want the entry of private players in the space sector. So ISRO is dominating the budget. ISRO is not giving the budget or not allowing the budget for other sectors. Okay. So this is one thing. What we see, that our entire budget of the space sector is just around 13,500 crore. Additional income can be of 1,500 crore. And what we see that the private sector is also not very happy with it. Private sector is alleging that ISRO is controlling the space sector, ISRO is dominating it, and ISRO is not letting the private sector to emerge in this area. So these are certain allegations of the private sector with respect to space in India or space sector in India. So I hope that is clear. The private sector is not very happy. Okay. Now, coming to this one part, there is this interesting thing about the Finance Commission once again. There is this interesting part about the Finance Commission and the devolution to states once again. Okay. Now see, there is one thing called as devolution to states. So we will find that this is 41% of the net proceeds of taxes. Net proceeds of taxes. यानी जो भी टैक्स प्राप्त हुआ उसका 41% दिया जाएगा. But in the recent times, there is a change in the approach of union government. Union government is focusing on lesser collection of tax and more collection of cess and surcharge. Why? If there is a cess or surcharge, means tax over tax, there is one thing called as surcharge. Surcharge means a tax over the tax. Okay, suppose there is a person who has an income of 100 crore rupees. There is a person who is having an income of 100 crore rupees. Now let's say he is giving 30% tax. So apart from 30% tax, the person may be charged education cess or environment cess or any other cess. तो उस पर्सन पे एक एक्स्ट्रा सेस लगता है. सेस इज फॉर अ स्पेशल पर्पस. So government is imposing a cess on that person. That is one thing. Second thing is there is a surcharge. Surcharge is a tax on the tax. If your tax is exceeding a proper value, if your tax is exceeding a certain value, then there will be an additional tax which is going to be paid by you. So surcharge is a tax on tax plus cess is an additional form of tax for a specified purpose. लेकिन गवर्नमेंट इन दिनों को टैक्स कंसिडर नहीं करती. दे आर नॉट कंसिडर्ड एज पार्ट ऑफ दिस. दिस इज नॉट कंसिडर्ड means it is only for the union. This is something which is only for union government. Union does not give any part of it to the state government. From this section, no part is given to the state government. Now you will see this one thing. There is this time period of 2013 to 2019. Out of the total income, cess and surcharge was just around 5 to 7%. Okay. Cess was just around 5 to 7%. Means out of the total money which is collected by the government in 2013 to 2019, on an average 5 to 7%, that was the value of cess or surcharge. In the recent times, 2021 to 2022, this value increased up to 13.5%, a massive increase. It was almost double. The value of cess and surcharge was almost double during this time of 2021-22. And in 2025-26 also, there is a proposal that this is going to be near about 11%. So government, the union government is collecting this money from the people, but it is not going to be shared with the states. This is something which is not going to be shared with the states. So we see that of the total income of the union government, we see that only a small portion is shared, not just a small portion, it is still large portion. But again, we see that for the 10% of the collection, it remains exclusive with the union government. It remains exclusive with the union government. It is not shared with the state. What are the states alleging? States are saying the government is reducing the tax and increasing the cess. जैसे कि मान लो कि गवर्नमेंट ने बोला पहले इनकम टैक्स 35% लगा, गवर्नमेंट ने बोला नाउ यू डोंट हैव टू पे 35% इनकम टैक्स, यू हैव टू पे 30% tax and the 5% will be cess and surcharge. The person is effectively paying 35% only, but the 30% of that will be counted as income tax, which will be shared between union and state, and the remaining 5% will be the center's cut. ये सिर्फ सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के पास जाएगा. In the recent years, if you see the value of it, that what is the value of this, just look at this. In the recent years, what has been the value of this? Okay, like as a percentage of gross revenue, it is 10.9% as of financial year 2025-26. अगले साल भी 11% बोला ही गया. Just see the value. The value is for surcharge, it is more than 1.5 lakh crore now. Surcharge की जो value है, it is more than 1.5 lakh crore. And for this, like cess, the cess is increasing near about 2.5 lakh crore. Okay. So effectively, if you will see, this two combined together is more than 4 lakh crore. 4 lakh crore plus money. This money is exclusively used by the union government. यानी 4 लाख करोड़ रुपए ऐसे आते हैं जिसमें states are not getting any share. So that is one of the challenge which the states are saying, that we are not getting access to the cess and surcharge. Okay. So let's meet in the next session. Today we might be having that session on UPSC application form. So just check it in sometime. We will have the session. Cess is for a specific purpose. Like cess can be for education. That educational cess. It will be used only for education purpose. Surcharge is a tax over the tax. That suppose a person's tax value is exceeding 1 lakh rupees. So then he can be applied with another tax of 1%. If your tax value is increasing 1 lakh rupees, you will have to pay additional tax of 1%. So that is called a surcharge. But both of them are not officially counted as tax. Our time of session will be notified. Just check the channel after 1 or 2 hours. By 7 p.m, check the channel. You will get the idea about this when we are organizing that session. So thank you everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.